What's going on, everybody? I am your Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist, Dennis Richkovsky, with another video on the Outer Banks, Emerald Isle, and the Crystal Coast. As always, I appreciate you clicking on this video. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up because it always helps with YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, it's free, and ring the bell for new content alerts. Today's video is all about the iconic and popular Bogue Inlet Fishing Pier at the end of Bogue Inlet Drive in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. For over a century, since the first ocean fishing piers was built in Curie Beach in 1923, fishing piers have provided an important water access for recreational fishing and have generated revenue sources to benefit the many coastal communities along the Outer Banks. So it's no surprise that fishing piers continued to be built. And by 1980, there were 36 piers, each jutting out about 1,000 feet into the ocean and covering nearly 300 miles of the North Carolina Outer Banks, from Corolla to Sunset Beach. Between the wrecking ball and named hurricanes like Bertha, Fran, Dennis, and Floyd, today about 20 fishing piers remain operational along the Outer Banks, from the Kitty Hawk Pier in the north to the Sunset Pier just east of Calabash in the south. In the 1990s, Bogue Banks, where I live, had 7 fishing piers. As I record this video, only Oceana Pier in Atlantic Beach and Bogue Inlet Pier in Emerald Isle remain along the 26 miles of this barrier island. Although their numbers have diminished, the popularity of fishing piers remains strong for several reasons. First, fishing piers are egalitarian. They welcome the common Joe or the high-end angler, the elderly and the young, the outgoing and the introverted, the beginner and the expert. Second, you don't need a North Carolina fishing license because all anglers fish under the blanket licenses held by all fishing piers. And third, ocean fishing is different from any other type of fishing. On the one hand, you're way up here and the fish are way down there. And in between, there can be a couple 100 feet of air and maybe some seagulls. On the other hand, it allows you to fish from as close to the beach as you dare, up to about 1,000 feet from the shore. Hence, you get to choose what fish you want to catch. From small panfish like spot and mullet in the surf to the trophy fish like king mackerel and tarpon in the rare air at the far end of the pier. Bogue Inlet Fishing Pier in the town of Emerald Isle have a long history that goes hand in glove. Shortly after the town was incorporated in 1957, developers built Bogue Inlet Fishing Pier to draw more vacationers from Atlantic Beach and the eastern portion of Bogue Banks to the new town of Emerald Isle. And from the time the pier was constructed, the pier was an incredible success. Tent campgrounds, mobile home parks, and motels popped up along the pier's borders shortly after opening to accommodate the thousands of anglers who flocked to the pier to take advantage of the fantastic fishing conditions. In 1971, the pier was sold to Melvin and Joe Stanley, who expanded the pier to accommodate the traffic coming over the new high-rise bridge connecting the mainland to Emerald Isle. The pier remains in the Stanley family today. Joe's son, Mike, owns the pier, and Mike's sister, Patricia, owns the adjacent beachfront RV park. The pier is open from March to late November or early December, from dawn until the wee hours of the night. The cost to access the pier varies by the fishing type and the length of time. Day fishing passes are $15, and 3-day and seasonal passes are available at a discount. The pier house is home to an extensive bait and tackle store, with everything an angler could need, including rods and reels, for a full day and night on the pier, including drinks, snacks, beach gear, and restrooms. A neighboring building is home to the popular Surf's Up restaurant. There's also an extensive parking lot for day trippers and seasonal anglers. In the spring and summer months, anglers can be on the lookout for speckled trout, sheephead, sea mullet, pompano, cobia, and especially king mackerel. As the temperature slightly cools, many of these species are still available, including croaker, gray trout, and the red, black, and puppy drums. Over the years, at various times, real estate values on Emerald Isle have put tremendous pressure on the Stanleys to sell. In 2006, the town of Emerald Isle and a Raleigh developer negotiated to purchase the pier and the land around it. But as real estate values decreased, so did the financial resources needed to finalize the purchase. For the last couple of years, pier owner Mike Stanley has been trying to sell the pier and the restaurant beside it, but recently he changed his mind. The other day he told the town board of commissioners that he's making changes for 2024 to improve traffic flow, which causes backups on Highway 58 on busy days. He wants to add a second exit lane from the property to minimize congestion, and he wants to install an automated gate system to expedite the $15 payment processing for parking. Electronic signage will display real-time parking availability and lot full status on Highway 58 before vehicles proceed onto Bogue Inlet Drive. Parking will remain free for anglers and sightseers on the pier. Meanwhile, Stanley and his crew are using the winter off-season to repair the pier, as they have done many times in the past. In all, workers will repair 18 sections of the structure. The pier will reopen on March 15th and close on December 1st. With a long history that's only a year or two shy of the town of Emerald Isle itself, and the incredible fishing that keep anglers returning, Bogue Inlet Fishing Pier seems destined to continue creating great fishing stories for many years to come. The next time you are on the island, drop by and experience this family-friendly destination. They aren't building fishing piers like they used to. Thanks for making Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist your first watch of the day. And if you subscribe and drop an email address in the comments below, I'll send you my ebook, Live Where You Vacation, all about the North Carolina Outer Banks, Bogue Banks, Emerald Isle, the Crystal Coast, and down east. Be safe and have fun, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for watching.